Hey guys, what's up? It is Dominic, and in this video, we're going to be discussing niching down or not niching down with high level. It is an extremely common question that I get constantly. Should I niche down? Should I target real estate agents or chiropractors? Who should I target? Should I not target anybody? Should I target everybody? I get it all the time. So we are going to be discussing the pros and cons, when you should niche down, when you shouldn't, and everything in between. Also, I will be calling it niche. I know some people call it niche. For me, it flows better with niche, so get over it. But if you don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about High Level, the greatest software platform on the planet that allows you to white label it, put your own logo on it. You can see that's my logo at the top right here, Serious Systems, and I can repackage and resell it for $97, $297, $497, whatever I want, and build up my monthly recurring revenue and become an actual software owner. It's amazing. And I'm actually one of the top affiliates in the entire world for High Level. And the way I got there was by providing so much value, courses, snapshots, absolutely everything you would ever need to succeed in SaaS, which is software as a service. So if you want to be one of my affiliates and get 30 days for free, yes, you get 30 days, not 14, 30 full days, an extended free trial on High Level with me personally when you use my link in the description below. You can even check out my starter course. It's free, completely free right now. You can check it out also in the description below, but that's enough of that. Let's get right into the video on if you should niche or if you shouldn't. And here we go. We got my little presentation over here. Should you niche down with SaaS with GoHighLevel? I got my real estate agent over here. I got the lawyer. I got the doctor. We've got it all. So the first thing I want to do is talk about my experience. What was my experience when starting out about a year and 2 months ago on High Level? Because if you haven't noticed by my channel and all the courses and content that I put out, I really just talk about my experiences and everything that I've done to be successful on High Level. And I'm hoping that other people can replicate it and also do well. So here's my experience. The first part is, what was I told? I was told, just like everybody else in the marketing world, to target a niche. Everyone does it. Everyone says it. It's like the first thing that you get told when you start marketing or run any agency at all. Find your niche and target it. And I always hated it. I always hated it. I understood why. I totally understand why people do it. But in the back of my mind, constantly, I just didn't want to do it. I always wanted to target so many different industries. I felt like there were so many businesses in my town that needed help. And it drove me crazy. I didn't want to do it. So I remember joining certain groups when I first started and everyone saying, oh, I'm picking this niche and this. I'm going to do real estate agents. I'm going to do this. And I couldn't handle it. I'll always remember me posting in one of the groups. I'm not going to talk about which group it is, but I posted into a group. It was a pretty popular High Level group on Facebook. And I said, I really don't see the purpose with SaaS to niche down. And every single comment was like, yeah, you have to niche down. You have to. That's what we're told. Boom, boom, boom. And when I first started, everyone was targeting the same niche. Everybody was in real estate agents. Like, it was insane. They were all going after real estate agents. It was the easiest thing to do. Every affiliate master had a real estate agent course, and it was just easy. I mean, they were just throwing it out there so everyone was going to bite. And what it ended up doing was saturating the market like crazy, but I decided to go with the crowd and choose real estate agents. And my first real estate agent client was actually a really good one. It was a great way to start. It was about $500 to $800 a month. Eventually it became $800 a month, and my ads were doing well and everything was doing well, but it was a lot of work. I was kind of like not really running a SaaS in a way. It was more of a marketing agency, and it just wasn't really what I wanted to do. And I knew if I were to scale this, it was going to be really difficult. And then I had agents that complained all the time, and I had certain things that happened with the ad accounts, and anyone that runs a marketing agency knows how difficult it can possibly be. And I was running into every single one of those problems. So the result was, it paid the bills. Of course it paid the bills. It was $800 a month, but I hated it. I didn't like it. I was stressed all the time. And it was so saturated that when I went out to go get more clients, it was impossible. Everyone had Zillow and Realtor.com and all these different things and these apps that did it. And there was 50 other people every single day pitching the same exact software or marketing experience, whatever it possibly was, because at the time there were probably 10,000 users on GoHighLevel and 9,000 of them were all targeting the same industry. So what did I do next? I stopped listening to everybody. I stopped listening to absolutely everybody, the big guys, the small guys, people in the group, people that were trying to help me. I said, no, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to target locally, which no one was teaching. And I was going to target every single industry, which nobody, absolutely no one was teaching. And if I failed, then I failed, but I wanted to do it my way and I wanted to figure this thing out. And I just couldn't target a niche. I couldn't do it. And ultimately what ended up happening when I started targeting all these different industries, like I had a gun shooting range, I had the custom apparel store that I started with, I had a bar and grill, restaurants, a venue that did country music and comedy. Super, super random stuff, guys. And it worked because I started focusing more on the SaaS part of it rather than the marketing agency part of it. So here are the negatives of niching down. Your market becomes very small. And I know a lot of you might say, well, that's good. You want a targeted market, and you may want that, but I'm going to explain that in the next slide when you want that. But when you're starting out and you don't know who you are, you don't know what your company is or what they represent, and it's a SaaS, it's a software company that can do everything, your market should not be small. It should be huge, because you got to find out what works. Number two, it's relatively impossible to target local clients unless you live in a massive town. But for me, if I were to target, let's say, chiropractors in my area, how many do I have before I hit every single one of them, you know? Local outreach is the best. It's so trustworthy. You can see people, you can meet them in person, you can build actual networking relationships with them. Way easier to sell, way easier to close. And if you only have 4 or 5 possible prospects, then how far can you actually go? Number three is you have to refine your skill set. So this means if you're going after, let's say, real estate agents, then you have to be very, very good at marketing for real estate agents. You have to be phenomenal, actually. You have to be better than everybody else, or they're not going to go with you. So you have to be perfect at that exact industry, and you need to know a lot about it. And we're going to cover that in the next slide as well. Number four is risk versus reward. What are you risking by starting off with a targeted market? Like, what is the actual risk there? You're risking a ton because of number five. You're missing out on all these perfect clients. I always use this gun shooting range as one of my best examples for why you shouldn't niche down. No one would have ever targeted the only shooting range in my town. It was the only one. Nobody was targeting them. No one was hitting them up. No one was asking to do their websites and everything else. So they became a perfect client for me because they didn't have anything. And if I would have niched down and gone after realtors, I would have never got that client who still pays me to this day to basically do nothing. I just already set them up. They're on my SaaS. Everything runs perfectly and it's all just a system. And I love that client and they love me. And then number six is it's SaaS, not a marketing agency. We kind of discussed this prior, but you are not running a marketing agency. You do not need to learn ads and learn all of these crazy things. You can have a SaaS that, prioritizes in marketing. That's okay, but it's going to be a lot harder in my opinion. So if you really want to focus on SaaS, make sure you focus on SaaS. And now we're going to go to the positives. One, the market opens up to everyone. Now you can actually target everybody. You can literally go after business owners, startups, anything that you want, any industry that you want. It's amazing. You can start to be creative and expand your mind and start solving problems for different industries, for different people, for different businesses. That's what SaaS is all about, solving those problems. Number two, you can target locally. You guys know how I feel about targeting locally. I think it's the best thing ever. We kind of already discussed it, but it is so much easier to scale, way easier to network, and just better all around the board. Number three is you can focus on broad skill sets that every single business needs. If you're running marketing or you're doing something extremely specific to an industry, your skill set has to be extremely defined. But if you focus on like website creating and automatic text messaging and, social media integration, all of this stuff is done in high level. It's super easy to set up. It's really easy to run, and you can keep that broad skill set and use those to help every single business rather than a crazy defined skill set that you may have to learn over years and years of practice so that you can get an edge over your competition in that exact industry. Number four is low risk and high reward. There is not much risk at all when you're targeting everybody because there's so many businesses out there. You're not going to run out. You can just keep looking. You can go after startups, which I love because you can solve their problems really easily. And the reward becomes much higher because you're going to get more clients and you're going to network a lot more. Like, what if you got a real estate agent client, but their uncle owns a restaurant or their cousin owns a chiropractic office and they really want them to be on the software? Well, you can't just be like, oh, sorry, I only do real estate agents. I'm not going to help those other people. Now you can say, hey, I'll help everybody in your family and friends and everybody that's got a business, I can help them all. Then you can actually network correctly. Number five is finding clients no one else is targeting. This is the opposite of what we talked about on number five on the negatives. You can find the gun shooting range, the golden client that you're missing that's so easy to set up and no one's targeting them and everyone's missing out on them. And all they want is a website. All they want is a funnel. All they want is some automatic texting and, the social media integrations or just some really basic stuff that HighLevel offers. That's all they want and you're missing out on them. And then number six is the exact same as the number six on the negatives for a reason. It's SaaS, not a marketing agency. These are two completely different industries. Treat them as such. Okay, guys, I am done talking bad about niching down because yes, there is a time and a place when you should niche down. And that is when you are extremely skilled in that market and you have an audience already. I have an affiliate right now that on his second month, his SaaS company is up $13,000 a month in recurring revenue. Yes, you heard that correctly. In 2 months, he's already above 10 grand a month. I'm sure right now he's probably at 20 to 30 grand a month. You want to know why he's there? Because he niched down to financial advisors. And the reason he was able to do that is because he already had a financial advising company. So his audience was there, his skills were defined, he just had to put them in the right system. Which brings us to number two, a system that works and is proven. If your system is crushing it for one industry and you have it down to a T and you can scale it beyond local, it's just absolutely absolutely amazing. It's working so well. And you know that every single chiropractor, every real estate agent, every construction company that gets on your specific system that's designed for them specifically will crush it and do amazing, then do it. That's when you should niche, when the system works and when it's defined for that specific industry. And then lastly, when the workload and service is consistent and not overwhelming. This kind of goes into the difference between a SaaS and a marketing agency. If your workload at one client versus your workload at two clients is a massive difference, you have a problem. Your workload at one client and your workload at 10 clients should kind of be similar. If you have a really good system in place, good onboarding, maybe one or two team members in the back, then with SaaS done correctly, you should be able to get hundreds and hundreds of SaaS clients. And the workload and the service should remain consistent. And if you have that, then it's okay to niche down. And now I am inside of my account and I am actually inside of one of my business accounts. We do land clearing and construction work, and I want to talk about this company because in the near future, we feel like we have a really good system for this exact business. So this is an example of when we would niche down, take a snapshot of everything we've created for this business because it's worked really well for us, replicate it, and send it out to other land clearing and construction businesses just like us. That's when you can niche down, when you have the system, when you've done it, when it works. But you're never going to figure that out unless you go broad and you start to just test and test and test. So actually, I do believe that in the future, when you start to do really, really well with SaaS, I think all of you should niche down. I think that should be your goal in the end. And I'm sure you guys did not expect me to say that at the end of this video after I just spent the whole video talking about how you shouldn't niche down. However, it's really smart if you have the system in play. If you go through everything that I just said in the last slide, if you have all of those down, then it's actually very scalable and the workload becomes less. So I do think every single one of you should have the goal to niche down eventually. But 1000% do not do it in the beginning. You need to work your way up to that point and you will eventually find your footing later in life. I really hope this video helped you guys. And if it did, please toss a like on this video and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Check in the link in the description below. I have so much that I'm offering all of my people, all of my affiliates, and even non-affiliates. I have a free course that anyone can take. I have an affiliates only course for all my affiliate signups. I have one-on-one onboarding where I'll literally onboard your entire account for you. I have one-on-one Zoom calls now. I partner with a lead generation company, so you can check that out. That is an awesome video. That video will pop up at the end of this one. So if you haven't seen it, please check that out. It'll show you how to get clients easier than ever. And we have an awesome Facebook group with so many people that are helping everybody else out. I mean, it's just, I love that group so much. If you guys are in that group and you're one of those people that provides value and actually helps, thank you so much. That takes off a massive workload from me. And you have no idea how much I appreciate that. So if you're not in that group, please check it out. One of the most helpful, active groups of all time. That will also be in the link in the description below. That being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.